I feel passionate about this, guys, because I see what's going on in the world right now. And I see that right now the world needs us more than anything. They need a community of like-minded individuals. They need people that are going to build belief in themselves so they can fight for something stronger, that they can fight for something bigger. And I feel that we've got the ability to be able to give that to people by creating a safe space for people. So cast that vision. Cast the vision of building a community without borders. Cast the vision of being able to build a company that enables you to get rewarded, paid, and get paid what you deserve, not what someone else dictates that it should be your salary. Helen shared something tonight on the leadership call about a lady in the team that is a pensioner and gets a pension of $29 a month. And she hits silver, which is $200 a month. And I'm telling you, like these kind of stories, it gives me goosebumps because I'm like, we changed that person's life right now. Imagine when that person, they hit gold and earn $500 a month. For some people, $500 a month is not a lot, but for somebody, $500 a month is life-changing. So sometimes we got to keep our perspectives in check. So that's number one in terms of pillars to leadership in network marketing. Okay. Let's go to pillar number two, which is communication. I remember one of my mentors said one time, he goes, your ability to use words can speak life or death into your life. It can speak life or death to your dreams. And it can also speak life or death into your team. I used to do martial arts a few years ago, and I had two senseis. One sensei that was like, you can do this, man. Come on, a few more push-ups. You can do this. And every time I was around this guy, I felt good. And all of a sudden, the second sensei, Sensei William, used to come in. He would walk in and he was just all about negativity. He was like, you call this a push-up? My 5-year-olds can do better push-ups. You know, what is this? Man, you call this a sit-up? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come and I'm going to put my leg on your stomach, and you're going to keep doing sit-ups until I believe that you can do a proper sit-up. And if you fail, the rest of the class is going to do more sit-ups because of you. Now, he used to call it empowerment through negativity. Here's the result of that. The majority of people stopped coming to his classes, and they started attending the other sensei's classes. Why? There's only that much you can beat people up before they get up to and essentially decide to walk away. Guys, people are already getting beaten up in their jobs. Let's face it, most people get recognition in their jobs when they do something wrong, not when they do something right. Most people are starving for recognition. And our job is through our communication is to build people up. That's our job. Our job is instilling belief in people. And once we still instill belief in people, and this is what I think is the biggest gift of leadership. The biggest gift of leadership is the ability to help people to do more than what they would have had you not been around. Is the fact that you're around in your team's life, does it inspire them to do more, or does it demotivate them? Okay. Now, I'm definitely not going to say I'm perfect. Okay. But the one thing I got to say, and I learned a lot of this, you know, a lot of this I've learned from Matt. Matt just has this unique ability of making you feel so special. And it was literally certain things, sometimes unexpected. I would get a nice voice message from him. Okay. Every time I would take, not just in terms of the ranks, okay, but the activity, little private messages, phone calls, checking in. Like I try to reach out as much to the team as possible. And never do I start the conversation with, hey, how's your business going? My conversation always starts with, hey, how are you? I want to know how you are as a person. Now, naturally, people say to me, oh, yeah, my business is this and this. But sometimes you got to remember when to be a friend and when to be a mentor. You also got to remember when to be a mentor and never be a dictator. I've seen people kill their teams because they want to be the star of the show. This ego is such a dangerous thing, guys. You know, and I know some people are starving for recognition, and sometimes they get this recognition and they eat it all up and they want more of it and they got too hungry for it. But you know what? If you want to be a great leader, take the recognition and pay it forward. Take the recognition, pay it forward. Okay. You guys may remember when we launched the Zooms every single night, it was literally me and Matt doing the Zooms every single night. Me and Matt, me and Matt, me and Matt. Okay. The leadership course, me and Matt. Okay. We did all of this, the two of us. And at some point, because we needed to create the system, but at some point we said, okay, now passing on the bat. Now Helen's doing presentation, Aaron's doing presentation, Chongi, Imola, okay, Helen Kithinji. And we're passing on the bat. We don't want to be the presenters all the time. We want to take the spotlight and shine it on the team. What I'm noticing now is within those teams, other people are stepping up and passing on the bat as well. And this is how you're elevating the leadership. It's giving responsibility to people. Now, one thing that I've always said to people is that sometimes when you ask people to go and present, a lot of the time they go, no, I don't know if I'm ready to present. Okay. But you do it anyway, because this is how you build people up. Recognize them for the effort that they're doing. Recognize them if they're stepping up. I know that, bless her, Enika from a Hungarian team, man, she stepped up and she organized a team trip to Dubai a few months ago. And I was like, look at that. You know, I love it when people step up and take ownership and lead. Some people just look up and wait for the leader to organize everything. No, if you see a leader do something, then take it and duplicate it. Go do a little team trip with your team. You don't need the company to help you to organize everything. Choose and escape your way, okay? And get your team together and go on an escape together. Build some memories and lead it. You know, Chongi and Imola are going to be doing a team trip in the Philippines. I'm so excited for them. I'm like, they were like, will you come? And I'm like, I don't need to be there. You guys are leaders, you know? And later on, somebody else, Chongi and Imola's team is also going to step up and do the same thing. And I love this because the thing is, the big things happen in little groups. Okay. I remember one thing that my mentor said to me, you know, you want to become insignificant to the growth of your team. If you're significant to the growth of your team, you're always going to have a small team. And I don't want to have a small team. I put a goal for Viago that the team is going to surpass 1 million people. Okay, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I didn't come to Viago to do what I did in the past. I came to Viago to do something bigger. What's your vision here? How are you communicating with your team to bring life into their dreams, to help them to rise up? Now, that doesn't mean, by the way, don't have the tough conversations. Okay. I have tough conversations with my leaders. Sometimes the tough conversations are gentle, and sometimes they're a lot more intentional. But they always come from a place of love. Even when they're tough conversations, I always started with the only reason I'm going to tell you this is because I want you to grow from this, and I want you to have better results than what you're already having. And I've had some very tough conversations with some team members. Now, I've done my part. Sometimes they take it on, sometimes not. Okay. But the only thing that I think of every time I'm having a tough conversation is like, just help them understand that you care. Have the tough conversation, do it with love, be intentional, okay, and move onwards, right? Move on to the next phase. Is this making sense, guys? Now, let's go to number 3, which is consistency. Consistency is everything. This is, there's different human needs, which we will cover in another training about the 5 human needs that everybody has and what drives people. But one of the human needs is certainty. Certainty makes people feel stronger. And, when we created this system, the system of Sunday night team call, right? Every single Sunday. And I've been doing this, guys, for years, by the way. Literally, I can probably say that in the last minimum 6 years, I've had a Sunday call every single Sunday. Okay. Now, over the last few months, and I'm grateful for this, I'll get other people to host it, right? Because I want to pass on the bat. But Sunday night is the team call. And every single night of the week, we also have presentations. This structure, this system creates consistency and it creates certainty. You don't have to sit there and go, hey, when's the next presentation? Hey, when's the next training? You know when it is. Every single night there's a presentation. Every single Sunday there's a training. Every 3 months we have a quarterly training, right? Next one is going to be in Barcelona, right? All these things create that consistent rhythm. At the same time, you're also going to be consistent with your activity because this is how you lead the team. All right, imagine, let me ask you this. How serious would you take me if I was doing this Sunday call training today, and then all of a sudden for 2-3 weeks, you didn't hear from me, and you're messaging me and you don't hear from me, and everything is gone off the radar and all the rest of it. And then I come back and I was like, hey guys, by the way, Sunday night call, right? And then I do it for 2-3 weeks and then I disappear again, right? I don't think you guys would be respecting me, right? But the thing is, by doing this consistency, you guys know what you can expect from me. I cannot expect my team to do something that they cannot expect from me. You guys with me? Okay. I am consistently putting in the effort, the energy, the activity, and the things in the background. Why? Because I want my team to feel that they can rely on me, right? And that also goes in terms of the activity. Are you consistently doing the presentations? Are you consistently attending the trainings? Because that consistency is called leading by example. People follow what you do, not what you tell them. Number 4, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, okay? Learn to be a coach and a mentor and not a dictator. Learn to be a coach and a mentor and not a dictator. Some of you guys have probably experienced this. I know Chongi and Helen will have a good little laugh. I know Aaron will have a good little laugh when I say this, but sometimes my team will come to me with questions and challenges. And the first thing that I say to them is, how would you deal with it? What do you think you should be doing in this case? The reason I'm doing that is because what I'm doing is when they come to me with questions or challenges, if I keep giving them the solutions, they'll keep coming to me with the questions and the challenges. And now what I'm doing is I'm creating a codependency. And codependency does not give power. Codependency creates followers. because codependency makes people feel like they can't do this without you. And I remember the first time I experienced this with one of my mentors, where I would go up to him and I'd be like, oh, I've got this challenge and I don't know how to deal with it. And he'd be like, okay, how do you think you should deal with it? And I just wanted him to give me the answers. I was like, man, just tell me what to do. And he's like, if I tell you what to do, you're going to just do what I tell you to do. I want you to think. I want you to think as a leader. And sometimes I would come to him with questions like, hey, I didn't understand that part about the compensation plan. How does that work? And it would be the easiest thing for him to basically tell me, it works like this and this and this and this. But he just said, hey, I don't know. Why don't you go figure it out and come and let me know as well? And I know Chongi's smiling right now because I've done that to Chongi a lot of times. But the thing is that it's all about teaching your team how to be solutions orientated. Look for the solution. Don't look for the person that can help you to give the solution, but look for that solution within you. And sometimes the job of a coach and a mentor is that you got to coach people to understand that all the answers they seek are always within them. A good coach makes a person feel like they don't need them because they've become so strong. That's how you create leaders, guys. You just keep on passing on that responsibility, keep asking them the questions. And literally, I mean, it took me a little while to do this part because sometimes I felt like, when you could see people just really going down the wrong path. And I was so tempted to just give them a call and go, hey, you're going down the wrong path. But I really had to get myself in check and go, okay, what's a better way to deal with this without slapping them for going down the wrong path, but get them to understand that they're going down the wrong path. So sometimes a good question is when someone is basically going down the wrong path is, I'll ask them, how's your business been in the last 90 days? Are you happy with the results that you've been getting in the last 90 days? Do you believe that you can get better results in your business in the next 90 days? What do you think is missing to help your business to get to the next level? Just literally asking them some questions that help them to pause, to reflect, and find the answers. See, the thing is, when you tell someone something, guys, because it's your voice, sometimes there's resistance to people buying it. But when you get them to understand something and reach to their own conclusion, because they reach that conclusion, they buy it easier. Do you see what I mean? I go, oh, for example, I've been pushing to Sapphire for the last 3 months and I'm not getting any closer. Okay, why do you think that is? Well, I don't know why it is. Tell me what it is. Well, what do you think you could be doing different in your business to help you to get the results? Tell me what you're doing right now. Tell me what you're not doing right now. And literally, you ask a few questions, and by asking a few questions, it gets them to literally take a little magnifying glass and put it into their business and look at things with a different perspective. Because sometimes a different perspective is what is needed. Like we have some people that say that the reason they haven't ranked up is because the booking engine is not working the way it should. I know some of you guys are smiling, right? Okay. And then we have some people that have hit diamond and, emerald and sapphire with the same booking engine. Correct? Okay, we have some people saying that the reason they haven't ranked up is because people in their country are not as hungry as in some other countries. I love it when people say to me, what are people in Africa doing? Thinking that maybe there's something that is happening that is different in the presentations and is the reason more people are signing up. Here's what they don't see is how many people don't sign up, or they try to sign up and there's no money on the card, or they say they're going to sign up but they never go to the bank to top up their money, or they sign up and the next month they don't actually top up their card. People don't see that. They see the ranks popping and they think it's got to be easier in Africa, and that's why it's happening, because that takes responsibility away from them. So I have people saying, if people in my country had more money, everybody would join. And I have people saying, because people in my country don't have the money, this is why they need an opportunity. You see, like, looking at the same thing, but different perspective and different results. Bomba. So by asking those questions sometimes, you get people to reach those conclusions. And last but not least, personal growth. You know, in terms of leadership, guys, I remember the one thing that I did when I wanted to really develop my leadership is, number one, I bought as many books as possible on leadership. You know, so the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, that was an amazing book that I must have read about 10 different times. You know, I also, How to Influence and Influence People. That's not a leadership book, but it is a leadership book because it's all about communication. There's so many different elements that are picked up on that because of that book. Another book, Start with Why, which is all about casting vision, about understanding that why drives people more than the money, than the compensation, than the company, than the products. It's the vision, it's the why, is what hurts them. So the thing is that to be a great leader, you also need to be a great reader. What books are you reading right now? What audios are you listening to right now? If you're not subscribed to the Viago Inner Circle, I highly, highly recommend that you subscribe to Viago Inner Circle. And some people said to me, oh, but Efrosini, I'm already paying my monthly membership, and that's $20 a month as well. You know, it's a lot of money. It's like, well, listen, never devalue the price of education. The education that you're going to get from Viago Inner Circle is going to make you more money. I remember when I first got started in this industry, every single time I would get into the car, it would be Drive Time University. It would be audio after audio. Even up to this day, I get into the car, and if I'm not making phone calls, I'm listening to a podcast. Because everything, repetition is the mother of all skill. The more you listen to something, the more it becomes a part of you. And the reason that I can sit there and basically, you know, do a talk for 45 minutes or whatever on any topic is because literally I've listened to so many different things over the years and I've practiced it over and over and over and over again. And the same thing with you guys is that right now we talked about leadership. Go get the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. If you're not a great reader, although I remember the first time I met another one of my mentors, and he said to me, what book are you reading right now? And at the time, I didn't like reading books. I only listened to audios. And I said, oh, I'm listening to this audio. And he's like, no, 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 no. What book are you reading right now? I said, I'm not a big reader. You know, I start reading it and my brain goes in different directions and I can't focus and I read the same paragraph 5 times. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, okay? And that's still up to this day. The one thing that helps me to concentrate, by the way, this is a little trick, is take notes as you're reading or highlight. When you're doing that, when you're highlighting or even you do a little squiggle, you exercise a different part of your brain, which enables you to keep that part of the brain active and retain information more at the same time. So that's why like all my books are highlighted, okay? Now, the other thing that I do sometimes is I'll sit there and I'll read something, I highlight it, I take notes, and then I teach it. That's called accelerated learning. Now, I remember the first time, I said this to my mentor, that I was like, I am not a good reader. I love listening to audios, and I listen to an audio every day, thinking he would be impressed. And he said, leaders are readers. And he walked away. Literally, that's all he said. Leaders are readers, and he walked away. I was like, damn it. So then I picked up a book, and now literally I start my day with reading a book every single morning. Read 10 to 15 pages every single morning as I have my coffee. Listen to a podcast as I'm driving. So I'm doing both. So I'm not telling you something that I'm not doing. Like, I want you guys to literally take this information, even the recording of this webinar. So if you got value from this webinar, listen to it again. Take some of the gold nuggets and have a call with some of your team members and go, hey, look, I was listening to this webinar. I got this gold nugget and it made me think of you, and I wanted to share it with you. Do you know how special your team will feel if you sit there? And sometimes I do like little screenshots of things I'm reading in a book, and I'll send it to a team member. I'll go, this made me think of you. Hope you're doing amazing. Little messages, guys. These little things just show appreciation. Okay. And on that note, I know the presentation is going to be starting shortly. So, guys, thank you for tuning into our Sunday call. I did record most of this call, so I will post it on YouTube. Okay. Have an amazing week. We've got 2 weeks left until the end of the month. Let's make July another month to remember, with the triple play promotion and everything else that is happening right now. Let's keep riding that wave. Let's keep rocking it. See you on the presentation shortly, and have an amazing week.